joy of my heart, England moonlit. Whether I wander east or west, waking or dreaming, you are near me. Joy of my heart, England moonlit. Whether I wander east or west, waking or dreaming, you are near me. Joy of my heart, England moonlit. Welcome. This is our second attempt at a Burns lunch. Hopefully we learned a little bit from last year, and so we'll do it even worse this year. But that was a great start. Let's hear it again for Betsy. Okay, before I get started, next week, Chuck Julian will be here from Bach to Broadway, harmonically exploring the Singing Sisters of Mount St. Joseph. And then on February 3rd, Short Creek United Methodist Church, 240th anniversary with Pastor Heather Rogers. That one was rescheduled from a snow day. Hopefully it won't snow again, but who knows. Anyway, by the way, today we'll be reading poems from the national poet. And they are translated in your guide. Well, I thought he spoke English. Yes. But we need to translate because he wrote in Scots dialect, which is a regional variant of English, with unique spellings and vocabulary that you might find it easier to read modern English. Now, the first thing we're going to do is say the Selkirk Grace, and we're all going to say it together. The recitation of the grace marks the beginning of formal proceedings at a Burns supper or lunch. It serves as a reminder of the values that Robert Burns cherished, such as gratitude, humility, and fellowship. We pay tribute to Burns's deep appreciation for traditional Scottish culture, including food, drink, and customs. So let's all try the Selkirk Grace in the Scots dialect all together now. Let the Lord be thanked. Okay. Our next song that Betsy will be playing, as our friends bring out your haggis, is called "A Man's a Man for That." Here she is. Thank you, Betsy. Now, before we serve the haggis, I'm going to explain what it is. Traditionally, it's comprised of sheep's offal, which sounds delicious, edible organ meat like heart, kidneys, tongue, and stomach, mixed with oats, sweat, onion, spices, all cooked in a sheep's stomach. Today, it is widely available in supermarkets and served commonly in restaurants, but made from lamb, pork, or beef, sometimes venison. The stomach has been replaced with artificial casings. Now, last year we tried a imitation haggis with mixed success, and this year, also because our budget's lower, we're trying American haggis. But while we get ready to serve, we're going to have our friend Jamie read the Burns address to a haggis.
Hey there, friends. Happily reading the address to the haggis. If you've never had haggis, you have to think of the most wonderful sausage you have ever had, and then double it, triple it. It is wonderful. There are many reasons why we don't have haggis here, and some of them are some of the things that are in traditional haggis we can't serve in the United States. Lung, for example. However, still, if you have a chance, the address to a haggis. Fair fay your honest sonsy face, great chieftain o' the puddin' race. Aboon them all ye take your place, pinch tripe or hair thrarm. Weel are ye worthy o' grace as lang's my arm. The groaning trencher there ye fill, your herd is like a distant hill. Your pin wad help to mend a mill in time o' need. While through your pores the dews distill like amber bead. His knife see rustic labor dight, and cut ye wee ready slight, trenching your gushing entrails bright like ony ditch. And then, oh, what a glorious sight, warm, reeking, rich. Then horn for horn they stretch and strive, de'll take the hindmost, on they drive, till their wheels swallowed kites believe are bent like drums. Then all good men must, like to rive, bethank it hums. Is there that o'er his French rag out or olio that would stow a sow, or fricassee would make her spew with perfect scorner, looks down with sneering, scornful view on sic a dinner. Poor devil, see him o'er his trash, as feckless as a withered rash, his spindle shank a good whip lash, his never knit, through bloody flood or field to dash. Oh, how unfit! But mark, the rustic haggis fed, the trembling earth resounds his tread. Clap in his wally knave a blade, he'll make it whistle. And legs and arms and heads will sneed like taps of thistle. Ye powers will make mankind your care, and dish them out their bill of fare. Old Scotland wants nae skinking ware that jumps in loogies. But if ye wish her grateful prayer, gear a haggis. Woo! Woo! Or DeCarlo's Pizza.
That's what our American haggis looks like. So at this time, come on up and get some. Yes, very specific American. Put some tunes on while we're doing that. And then we'll do the toast. How's your haggis? Salute. Okay, before we can move on, what I'd like to do now, while everyone has food, is pick up you should all have one of these, and stand up just for a minute, and we'll all do this. Hang on. That's James Joyce. That's for Bloomsday. Don't do James Joyce. We're trying to conserve materials. We have Robbie Burns on one side and Joyce on the other. Joyce would be flat. He would. He was such a nice man. All right. Everyone stand. Put up your masks. And say, Robbie! Well done, y'all. Now, while you're consuming your food, and I think there'll be enough for seconds, am I right? Yes. Yeah. We will do the Immortal Memory Toast, which is a testimony to the life, work, and enduring legacy of Robbie Burns. Concluding with y'all, guests, raising your glasses to toast his everlasting spirit and influence. I will begin, and then Jamie will bring it up. Just some words about Mr. Burns. He was a farmer. He was a laborer. He was an advocate for the working class and the oppressed. He was a storyteller, a warrior poet, a whiskey drinker, a naturalist, a ladies' man, big time, a romanticist, a realist, a punk, a rebel, a radical, and a raconteur.
Good afternoon. I am very, very proud to be able to speak about Robert Burns on this as we're coming close to his birthday. A farmer who found some small fame as a poet in his lifetime, and we're recognizing him now more than 200 years after his death. I mean, to recognize a poet that far after he's been gone, especially one that wrote in a Scots language that very, very few people use anymore, is incredible. The fact that we're remembering him this far along after his death puts him in the same categories as Cervantes and Dante and Shakespeare, right? Those are poets that we remember long after they're gone. His American contemporaries would be our founding fathers, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. So a very forward-thinking time, and Robert Burns was a very forward-thinking person. Scotland at the time, also changing, not as revolutionary as America, but becoming less of a farm, more of an industry sort of place. But what was also happening is the Scots were losing their language, a lot like what the First Nations in America were losing their language as English took over. Burns is someone who resisted against that, who wrote his poems chiefly in a Scots dialect, which is one of the reasons why the Scots celebrate him so much, because pushing back against the English is definitely a Scottish tradition. It's what makes you beloved. You want to be beloved to a Scotsman, tell him how much you hate the English. So he's recognized as Scotland's national poet. And so as we're changing now into English, it seems to me incredible, but that all this time later, one of the most recited poems on New Year's is his Auld Lang Syne. Could you imagine? We don't even know what all the words in that poem mean. And yet we sing out rough because it's just that good. let's see what else we say. So the Scots celebrate and remember him for that, for all that and all that. Will brothers be for all that? He was a farmer who stood with the working class. The honest man, though e'er say poor, is king of men for all that. So as we take our first footsteps into our new year, we will sing and sing again one of the most enduring songs ever written, and we'll wish for each other a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. Burns passed in 1796. Washington was our president, and we were taking our first steps away from monarchy. Burns was also recognizing at the time that all were created equal. In his poem, The Rights of Women, he wrote, While Europe's eye is fixed on mighty things, the fate of emperors and the fall of kings, while quakes of state must each produce his plan, while quacks of state each must produce his plan, and even children see the rights of man. Amid this mighty fuss, just let me mention the rights of women must merit some attention. So I am proud to toast the enduring voice of our national poet, Scotland's national poet, and romantic ladyman's, the one and only Robert Burns Slàinte.
Drink up. It's supposed to be whiskey, but we have whiskey.
But it's a library.
It is a biblioteca. Okay.
Do you mind if I read Scots Way before I play it?
No,
Can we read it?
please. Explain to the
Am I up?
folks.
Am I up?
You are up.
I'm up. I'm up. Hi, everybody. I'm Betsy. I play the bagpipes, and I'm very happy to be here today. Instead of what's written next, I think it was Wild Mountain Time, perhaps, I'm going to play Scots Way, and it's a different kind of Burns song, and it's the battle song. And it is, I wanted to read a little bit of it to you. Actually, it's not that long. I'll read the whole thing. But it is in Scots, and I haven't practiced, so bear with me. And just to give you an idea, Scots Way means Scots who have. So the first line is Scots Way wi Wallace bled. So Scots who have with Wallace, William Wallace, bled. So this is about those who fought with William Wallace and Robert the Bruce for Scotland's freedom. Scots Way wi Wallace bled, Scots when Bruce has often led, welcome to your gory bed or to victory. Now's the day and now's the hour, see the front of battle lower, see approach proud Edward's power, chains and slavery. Wha will be a traitor knave, wha can fill a coward's grave, wha say base as be a slave, let him turn and flee. Wha for Scotland's king and law, freedom's sword will strongly draw, freeman stand or freeman fa, let him follow me. By oppression's woes and plains, by your sons in servile chains, we will drain our dearest veins, but they shall be free. Lay the proud usurpers low, tyrants fall in every foe, liberties in every blow. Let us do or die. And I'm going to play that for you. And just a side note, this tune is the first tune that I teach students to play on the bagpipes. So it's a very simple tune, so that's why we do it that way. But it's a great one, I think. So thanks.
Very nice. And now we're going to bring up another reader. But first, I'll tell you about the poem you're going to hear. According to legend, Burns was plowing in the fields at his farm and accidentally destroyed a mouse's nest, which it needed to survive the winter. His brother Gilbert claimed the poet composed this poem you're about to hear while still holding his plow. So to recite To a Mouse, please welcome Morgan Hamilton.
Thank you. Hi. This sounded really good in my head, so we'll see how it goes. On turning her up in her nest with the plow, November 1785. We sleek it cowrin timorous beastie, oh what a panic's in thy breastie. Thou needna start away so hasty, we bicker and brattle. I wad be laid to rin and chase thee, wi' murdering paddle. I'm truly sorry man's dominion has broken nature's social union and justifies that ill opinion which makes thee startle at me, thy poor earth-born companion and fellow mortal. I doubt no whiles but thou may thievey, what then, poor beastie, thou man leavey. A Damien Icarin a thravey, 's a small request. I'll get a blessin' when we the leave and never missed. Thy wee bit housey too in ruin, its silly was the winds are strewin', and nothin' now too big a newin', o foggage green. And bleak December's winds ensuin', Beth snellin' keen. Thou saw the fields laid bare and waste, and weary winters come and faced, and cozy here beneath the blast thou thought to dwell, till crash, the cruel coulter passed out through thy cell. That wee bit heap o' leaves and stibble has cost thee money a weary nibble. Now thou's turned out for a thy trouble. But house or held the thole winter's sleety dribble, and Kenrich called. But Mousie, thou art no thy lane, in proving foresight may be vain. The best laid schemes o' mice and men, gang oft ugly. And leest nothing but grief and pain for promised joy. Still thou art best compared wi' me, the present only toucheth thee, but ouch I backward cast my ee on prospects drear. And forward though I canna see, I guess in fear.
Thank you. One Sunday, while sitting behind a young lady in church, Burns noticed a louse roaming through the bows and ribbons of her bonnet, and the poem To a Louse resulted from his observations. The poor woman had no idea she would be the subject of one of Burns's best poems, and how we see ourselves compared to how other people see us at our worst moments. To recite To a Louse, please welcome me. Now picture Tom Cruise in some Irish movie. And you'll get some idea how bad this is. Ha! Where are you going, you crowing fairly? Your impudence protects you sorely. I cannot say, but ye strunt rarely. Our gaze and lace, though faith, I fear ye dinna, but sparely. On sic a place, ye ugly creeping blasted Werner, detested, shunned by sant and sinner. How dare ye sit fit upon her, sigh fine lady. Guy somewhere else seek your dinner on some poor body, within some beggar's hammock, squaddle. There ye may creep and sprawl and spraddle, with her kindred jumping a cattle, in shoals and nations, where in horn nor bane their dower unsettle your thick plantations. Now had you there out of sight, below the fatrals, snug and tight. Now faith ye yet, you'll be no right, till you've got it on it, the verma topmost towering height. Oh, Mrs. Bonnet, my soothe, right bald ye set your nose out, as plump and grey as ony grosset. Oh, for some rank merchant roset, or fell red snedum. I'd gie ye a sick hearty dose out, wad dress ye drodum. I would not see surprised to spy ye on an old wife's flannin toy, or Abbins, some bit duddy boy, on Wildcoat, but Mrs. Fine Lunder, fie, how dare ye do it? Oh, Lenny, dinna toss your head, and set your beauties abread. Ye little ken what cursed speed the blasty's making. Thy winks and fingers' ends I dread are notice taken. Oh, wad ya poor little gifty gie us, to see ourselves as others see us. It wad frae money, a blunder free us, and foolish notion. What airs and dress and gait, what leah us, and even devotion. All right, enough of that. Let's have another song, shall we?
So this is also not the one that's written in your program. This is a march called Bonnie Dundee, and it is an earlier version of the song that Robert Burns wrote, as opposed to the later and more popular version of the song that Sir Walter Scott wrote. And also, by the way, my watch told me that it's way too loud. My pipes are way too loud. I got 95 decibels or something like that. 20 minutes at that level and you'll have your win. Hopefully I will not go set as many tigers up.
Thank you, Betsy. Superb.
The second tune was called The Muck and the Geordie's Byre, which I thought was appropriate because that means, you know, the shoveling out of the salt. And that would be fitting for Burns since he was a farmer.
Yeah, it's very good. Okay, we have one more poem, and then we'll sing Auld Lang Syne, as we did last year. I'm not going to talk about this, but I'll let Jamie describe it for you. And yeah, if you want seconds on the pizza, just save me a couple, would you?
Well, I will say this poem is long. And we're, because of that, and because I know that it's in Scots, that you're going to need something to help you get through it. So there's going to be images. And they're from a comic book version. So what you should know, the poem I'm going to read is called Tam O'Shanter. And for me, Tam O'Shanter is a story I've known my whole life. It's like the legend of Sleepy Hollow or something like that. It's the ghost story that you always knew. And so I knew it forever. And I know that a lot of people that I know don't know Tam O'Shanter. So it's hard to have a conversation where you make references to it where people don't get it. So here's your chance to get it. And you have a translated version in front of you. Thank God. I didn't even start yet. Wait till I'm halfway through it. And what's even more fun is that Tam, in the poem, spends a lot of time drinking. You're going to want to join him. Tam is a nickname for Thomas. So if your name was Tom, you'd be called Tam. Many times you'll see the Scots wearing that hat that Tam's wearing in that picture there, and so that's become known as a Tam because of Tam O'Shanter. What else can I say about it before we begin? Nothing. Is that right? No, nothing. Tam O'Shanter by Robert Burns. When chapmen billies leave the street and drouthy neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late and folk begin to take the gate. While we sit boozing at the nappy and getting foo and unco happy, we think now on the long Scots miles, the mosses, waters, slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulky, sullen dame, gathering her brows like gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth fand honest Tam O'Shanter, as he frae Ayr one night did canter. Old Ayr, wham ne'er a town surpasses, for honest men and bonny lasses. Oh, Tam, hadst thou been sae wise as taking thy ain wife Kate's advice, she told thee, well, thou were a skellum, a blithering, blustering, drunken blellum, that frae November till October, a market day thou wasna sober, that ilka meddler wi' a miller, thou sat as long as thou had siller, that every nag was cad a shoe on, the smith and thee got roar and foo on, that at the Lord's house, even on Sunday, you drank with Kirkton Jean till Monday. She prophesied that late or soon thou would be found deep drowned in Doon, or catched wi' warlocks in the mirk by Alloway's old haunted kirk. Ah, gentle dames, it gars me greet to think how many counsels sweet, how many lengthened sage advices the husband from the wife despises. But to our tale. As market night, Tam had gotten planted unco right, fast by an ingle bleezing finely, wi' reeman swats that drank divinely. And at his elbow, Souter Johnny, his ancient trusty, drew the crony. Tam loved him like a very brother, and they had been foo for weeks together. The night drave on with sangs and clatter, and aye, the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious, with secret favour sweet and precious. The suitor told his queerest stories, the landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without might rare and rustle, Tam didna mind the storm a whistle. Care, mad to see a man sae happy, e'en drown himsel among the nappy. As bees flee hame wi' lades of treasure, the minutes wing their way with pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, o'er all the ills of life victorious. But pleasures are like poppies spread. You seize the flower, its bloom is shed. Or like the snow falls in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. Or like the borealis race that flit ere you can point their place. Or like the rainbow's lovely form, evanishing amid the storm. Nae man can tether time or tide. The hour approaches, Tam mun ride. That hour o' night's black arch the keystane, the dreary hour he mounts his beast in, and second night he takes the road in, as ne'er poor sinner was abroad in. The night blew as 'twad blown its last, the rattling showers rose on the blast. The speedy gleams the darkness swallowed, Loud, deep, and long the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand the devil had business on his hand. Wheel mounted on his grey mare Meg, a better never lifted leg, Tam Skelpit, on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whilst holding fast his good blue bonnet, whilst croning o'er some old Scots sonnet, whilst glowering round with prudent cares, lest bogles catch him unawares. Kirk Alloway was drawing nigh, where ghaists and hoolits nightly cry. By this time he was crossed the ford, where in the snow the chapmen smored, and past the birks and metal stain, where drunken Charlie breaks neck bane, and through the whins and by the cairn, where hunters found the murdered bairn, and near the thorn aboon the well, where Mungo's mother hanged hersel. Before him Doon pours all his floods, the doubling storm roars through the woods, the lightnings flash from pole to pole, near and more near the thunders roll. When glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirk Alloway seemed in a bleeze. Through ilka bore the beams were glancing, and loud resounding mirth and dancing. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers thou can make us scorn. With Tippany we fear no evil. We esquibe, we face the devil. The swats they reamed in Tammy's noodle. Fair play, he cared Ned Dale's a boodle. But Maggie stood right there, astonished, till by the heel and hand admonished, she ventured forward in the light, and wow! Tam saw an uncouth sight. Warlocks and witches in a dance, nae cotillion brant new frae France, but hornpipes, jigs, strathspeys, and reels put life and metal in their heels. A winnock bunker in the east, there sat old Nick in shape of beast. A towsy tyke, black grim and large, to gie them music was his charge. He screwed the pipes and gart them skeel, till roof and rafters all did tear. Coffins stood round like open presses, that showed the dead in their last dresses. And by some devilish cantrap sleight, each in its cold hand held a light, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the holy table a murdered banes and giblet airns, twa spun lang wee unchristened bairns, a thief new cutted frae the rape, wi' his last gasp his gab did gape. 5 tomahawks with blood red rusted, 5 scimitars with murder crusted, a garter which a babe had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, whom his ain son a life bereft, the grey hairs yet stacked to the heft, wi' mair o' horrible and awful, which even to name would be unlawful. As Tammy glowered, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The piper loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew. They reeled, they set, they crossed, they cleeked, till Elka Carl and Swat and Reekit, and coosed her duddies in the wark, and Linkit at it in her sark. Now, Tam, oh Tam, had they been queens, a plump and strapping in their teens, their sarks instead of cresh and flannin, been snow white 1700 linen. Their breeks o' mine, my only pair, their ants were plush o' good blue hair. I would ha' gied them off, ye herdies, for a blink o' the bonny birdies. But withered bedlams, old and droll, ring woodle hags, want speen a foal, loping and flinging on a crummock. How wonder didna turn the stomach. But Tam kenned what was what fu brawly. There was a winsome wench in Whalley, that night enlisted in the corps, lang after kenned on Carrick shore. For mony a beast to dead she shot, and perished mony a bonny boat, and shook baith meikle corn and bear, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cutty sark o' paisley hern, that while a lassie she had worn, in longitude though sorely scanty, it was her best, and she was vanity. Ah, little kenned thy reverend granny, that sark she coughed for her wee Nanny, weigh 12 pounds Scots. 'Twas all her riches, whate'er grace a dance of witches. But here my muse her wing mun cower, sick flights are far beyond her power. To sing how Nanny lap and flang, a sopal jad she was strang, and how Tam stood like one bewitched, and thought his very own enriched. Even Satan glowered and fidged fu fain, and hooched and blew wi' might and main, till first a caper, then another. Tam tint his reason altogether and roars out, "Well done, Cutty Sark!" And in an instant all was dark. And scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied, as bees biz out wi' angry fyke, when plundering herds assail their bike, as open pussy's mortal foes, when pop she starts before their nose. As eager runs the market crowd, when catch the thief resounds aloud. So Maggie runs, the witches follow, wi' money and eldritch screech and hollow. Ah, Tam, thou get thy farrin', in hell they'll roast thee like a herrin'. In vain thy Kate awaits thy comin', Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now do thy speedy utmost beg, and win the keystane of the brig. There at them thou they tail may toss, a running stream they dare and they cross. But ere the keystane she could make, the faint tell she had to shake, for Nanny far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam wi' furious ettle. But little wist she Maggie's mettle. I spring brought off her master's hail, but left behind her ain grain tail. The carlin caught her by the rump, and left poor Maggie scarce a stump. Now, while this tale o' truth shall read, ilk man and mother son take heed. Whene'er to drink you are inclined, or cutty sarks run in your mind, think ye may buy the joys o' dear. Remember Tam O'Shanter's mare. Hey, hey! Time to spare.
Well done. That is epic.
That is. Thank you for
All right. You want to explain?
Okay, so we're all going to sing Old Lang Syne. Everyone knows the tune. You know, me. And we're not going to sing eight verses. I said to Sean earlier, I hadn't known that we weren't going to sing eight verses, and I suggested to him that we not sing eight verses. And he said, yeah, that's what I meant.
Exactly what I meant.
All right, so we're just going to sing in your program the first verse and the chorus. And then we're going to jump over to the next column towards the top. It says, and there is a hand my justice here. That's what we'll sing next. And then that's over to the chorus for Old Lang Syne. And that's for Old Lang Syne, my fiddle. Sorry. All right, so you got that first verse, chorus, and there's a hand my justice here. That verse and then chorus again.
Is someone recording this for posterity?
Why don't we all stand up?
Speak, O God. Thank you, Betsy. Everyone, applause for Betsy. Yeah, well done. And for Jamie. And for Morgan. And for Bobby Burns. We'll see you at Bloomsday in June. I'm actually more Scottish than Irish, but you know, I didn't like the vote, so here we go. Thanks for coming. It's we're all done. Everyone get their fill of pizza. No,